What's the point of a $100 million portfolio if it tears a family apart by the third generation? We've all heard of the shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves proverb, the idea that wealth rarely survives 3 generations. But the failure is not usually financial. It is a failure of governance, alignment, and purpose. Hi, I'm Jean-Baptiste Wautier. Through my work in private equity and now through my own family office, I've seen that the strongest families do not just manage capital, they manage responsibility. In this video, I want to walk through 3 areas that determine whether generational wealth becomes a strength or a source of tension. We're going to talk about governance, philanthropy, and stewardship. So first, governance. And clear governance determines whether wealth creates alignment or conflict. The most sophisticated family offices create a clear line between family money and individual merit. They treat the family office like a professional institution, not a personal ATM. They structure early. They define what the capital is meant to achieve. They separate ownership from day-to-day management. They create formal boards and investment committees. They document decisions, and they set clear expectations for the next generation. By creating a formal board and investment committee, families can remove the emotional friction of money from the dinner table. Governance becomes a buffer. There's also the broader issue of the emotional architecture of wealth. How do you advise a family when the next generation wants to take a completely different path than the one that created the fortune? This is a classic issue from the second generation onward, and one that I believe can only be addressed over time, and with first an alignment on values, which hopefully remain forever the intangibles, some deep exchanges between generations, and last but not least, an evolution that is driven by expertise, a special power that a generation has developed and that is objective enough. Number 2, philanthropy. Philanthropy reveals whether a family can govern together. Many families treat philanthropy as an add-on. In strong family offices, it becomes a training ground. Philanthropy is often where the next generation first participates in decision-making. We're moving away from the checkbook philanthropy and more towards venture philanthropy, applying the same due diligence and KPIs that you would to Series A investment. A family's philanthropic mission acts as a true North Star. I really think that when a family office approaches philanthropy with the same professional stamina and rigor as a private equity deal, the outcome changes. It suddenly becomes more about maximizing impact in a way that can be measured, and equally importantly, relying on due diligence and decision-making processes which are identical to the ones used by the business world. Number 3, stewardship. Stewardship determines whether wealth survives beyond one generation. With roughly 350 trillion in global debt, the role of private capital in solving social problems is becoming more important. Stewardship is about building continuity. Strong families treat succession like leadership development. They build accountability early, and they make it clear that wealth is not only a privilege, it's a responsibility. In my own family and today family office, we develop values with our kids from a very early age and got them to adhere to what we believe are true fundamentals: integrity, empathy, courage, among others. We also instill in them the principles that noblesse oblige and got them to understand how privileged they were and that this privilege meant additional accountability and responsibility. So what are the tips for building a multi-generational legacy? 4 governance habits that protect multi-generational wealth. Number 1, define the why before the how. Don't talk about asset allocation until you've talked about values. What is the money actually for? 2, institutionalize early. Even a small family office should have formal meetings, recorded minutes, and clear conflict of interest policies. Number 3, empower the successors. Give the next generation a specific portion of capital or a philanthropic project where they have total autonomy and the right to fail. And 4, integrity over IRR. At the end of the day, a family office is only as strong as the integrity of the people running it. Again, I believe that one of the most important conversations a family can have when it comes to managing wealth and generational expectations is about shared value and the need to have a positive impact commensurate with the generational wealth and capabilities. Generational wealth is a double-edged sword. It can provide a foundation for real long-term impact, or it can create tension inside a family that builds over time. And the future of the family office is not just about maximizing internal rate of return. You also have to think about the rate of impact, because philanthropy and stewardship are not side products. In many families, they're what holds the structure together across decades. If you're interested in the intersection of capital, legacy, and leadership, share your questions in the comments and I'll address them in future conversations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.